but we're back. I was very confused. I took my hat off because it's way too hot, but Captain Ash will probably still be wearing his. Oh dear.
Probably.
I get the feeling he lives in that thing. Like, I can also imagine Seren like wrestling it off him when he's like asleep and getting it a wash, or like, and then putting it back on his head without him noticing. Seren strikes me.
She's got 4 spares in a cupboard.
Bet she does. I bet I wouldn't even notice as well. That's the sad thing. Yeah, so what did I miss? Like, did you talk much on after I disappeared?
We were mostly discussing mechanics, and there was a war roll that was made to learn more about Vorai. And I was answering some mechanics questions for physics.
Nice. Excellent. I'm glad I didn't miss anything, folks. We're just we're on a kind of break point as well, so we're just waiting for people to come back, and then we'll switch to the scene. Maybe my hat's just taking up too much bandwidth. Maybe now it's gone, it would be like good to go. So, do you want me to do a roll for the creating the stage and stuff? Is it a major project or a minor project?
The stage will be major. I'm thinking of whenever you sort of integrate your cooking into the scene in an interesting fashion, like when you mixed up drinks for everybody. Yeah. And it was more than just, oh, by the way, I make everyone drinks. I'm just going to give you 4 silver, so just so we don't sort of slow the thing down by rolling. Just assume that you beat the roll and fulfill at least one objective.
Okay, cool.
So take a further 4. One moment.
Sweet.
Sorry about that. My dog has
poor children
started getting fleas.
Oh no.
Oh no.
But yeah, I gave him medicine and a flea bath. But once he just keeps licking, so I gave him some food to distract him.
Nice.
So what you're saying is the little bugger has bugs.
The Fae did indeed eat my internet book borrower. And thanks for joining. I don't know if you've checked out the other videos. They're available on YouTube, and I think some of them are still available on my Twitch channel. Let me pop in a link to that YouTube, and then we'll be ready to go live, folks.
Oh my god! It's a corgi.
Oh,
this is the mangy mongrel right here.
2 secs, I've got to show this to the screen. There we go. Hey, look at the dog. It's amazing. Love it. Looks a very, very nice dog. Is it good-tempered?
Oh yeah, he's pretty chill.
Nice.
Everyone loves him.
So, yeah.
So out of my lap.
What was the last thing
Plucky,
you heard?
yes, you.
Hello.
One moment.
No worries.
The mother's out of the house at the moment. She normally tries to wrangle them while we're streaming to keep them a bit quiet, but she's just had to pop out for a bit.
It's quite okay.
And
No.
shenanigans.
I call shenanigans.
So, do you want me to make that major project role?
Yes, I will get you to do that. It costs you 10 silver experience to do that, just so you're aware. That's how the
fine. I've got a quite nice cache of silver. I feel like a proper pirate. I've got like 24 of them, folks, saved up. I'm also, just so timing isn't an issue, I'm going to use craftsman needs no tools.
You've got days, dude. I mean, like, I don't mind, obviously, but I'm just saying you've got days to put it together.
Well, I mean, depending on how big.
just for the audience who's watching, the way that the crafting works in Exalted 3rd edition is that you start by doing minor type projects, and a minor project isn't a project that isn't inherently valuable or doesn't do things. It's just a project that doesn't take up much of your time. So like folding origami, or sharpening a stick, or whittling something you could do in the space of a few hours, manual labor, probably falls into a minor project, and then it goes up to major, and then superior, so on and so forth. To perform major projects, though, you require silver experience, which you need to spend to undergo or complete the project itself, which you gain by completing the minor projects. And when you complete a major project, it gives you another type of colored experience, gold, so that you can do better projects again, and then so on and so forth down the line. So I find the system interacts pretty easily with the storytelling style that I run. So as long as crafting attempts or actions are involved in the story and tell us a little something about the character, intentions, their designs, I'm more than happy to sort of go along with that. It doesn't take up too much time, and sort of a roll here if it's really necessary. Otherwise, I sort of just hand wave the roll and sort of award some of the experience. Anything that enriches and enlivens the game. As for Etta, during the break, we were discussing some mechanics, and Etta asked to make a lore roll to discover some more information about Vorai and the significance of their particular coat of arms. And he rolled 7 successes.
Wowza.
Which is a lot.
It is indeed.
Excellent. Excellent, Caesar, the bomb.
Now, in Exalted 3rd edition, you do roll against a difficulty, usually set by myself, modified. Sometimes it tells you what a difficulty is, and then I can modify it up or down if I really need to. When it comes to defeating difficulties, exceeding the difficulty by a margin of successes doesn't mean that you succeed even better than you would have normally. Necessarily, beating a static difficulty just means that you've succeeded the action. So it's not always necessary to sort of garner a large amount of successes, unless threshold success, as it's called in the game, would reasonably contribute to a larger margin of success. Like, for example, when you attack somebody, the difference between the successes that you roll and the difficulty was to hit them increases the amount of damage that you can do. As an example. In this particular case, Etzer was racking his brain and flicking through some of Ash's books just to sort of correlate some information that he'd heard in the past and read on his own, and some rumors that he had thought that he had heard and passed on. The serpent on the coat of arms for Vorai it doesn't have legs. It is effectively a snake serpent, not a dragon-like creature. But it scales. Its scales are specifically silver coins. The shield that it is coiled around is that of a kite shield with the sort of dip at the end. Sort of makes a sort of sinuous shape in front of it. The silver-scaled serpent is obviously often known as the coveter serpent. It's a symbol of trade and mercantile peoples. The reason that it appears on this particular coat of arms is the people long before the Baron Goss ever took power, but especially now that he is in power, find strength through their economy. They aren't all merchants. In fact, a great deal of them are artists and artisans. But in being useful, in being skilled, they find that affords them a strength of protection, where if ever, for example, an imperial power like Ysir was to make move on to create too much upheaval in the area, there is a certain stability to their particular ethos, because no one wants to interrupt the goods and trade that can come from this particular area. So it affords them some manner of protection, in their minds at least. Whether this works out in actuality, well, they haven't been invaded yet, so it remains to be seen.
Fantastic.
Do you relay this to us, Etzer? That is the question.
Yeah. Etzer would turn to Captain Ash and begin to ask him how large of a... 1 second. And then he would turn to Cheshire and say, how tightly can you dance? If you had a small area to perform on, how intricate of a dance could you do?
Exceedingly intricate.
I mean, anyone can waltz across an entire ballroom like a peacock, but to do complicated maneuvers in a confined area, that's true skill. Captain Ash, could you make an area about... I don't want to...
Let me stop you there, because I believe I know what you're going to ask me. Would you like me to craft a flowing serpent, perhaps? And upon that surface, our good friend Cheshire will dance, and perhaps it will have little spines coming off so merchants can put their silver on to create the silver-scaled serpent as Cheshire's dance proceeds over it, ending perhaps at the feet of a elegant throne crafted for the Lord, if he wishes to view upon it. So everything is in his preview, perhaps.
I was not, but I like where your head's at.
Oh, sorry.
It was...
Cheshire's eyes just go wide, like, that's a thing. Go for it.
I was going to suggest that I could use some of the coins that I have, and with Cheshire, and he kind of plucks at your shirt, fine mastery of pulling clothing out of nowhere, and the immaculate designs of Ermine Love, my personal tailor, I think we could make Cheshire the snake, cover him in silver paint and very little, just except gauze and coin and jingling coins, and have him dance in a spiral on a small shield.
Well, I mean, only so many things need actually be made. Really, all I need is a raised platform. Because you see, I mean, you noticed I have a certain talent. And as he does that, he goes into a small turn. It's going to inspire amazement and awe. Let's go for an awe-inspire action. He turns, and as he turns, the floor beneath him goes from wood and starts spiraling out in a circle, and the floor becomes covered in coins. Then the coins start wriggling and moving like serpents beneath their feet. And behind Cheshire rises the kited shield within the little room that we're in. And the serpents start coalescing into a single grand serpent that encircles the entire room on top of the shield. And as he finishes his display, he just raises his hand to put it underneath the chin of the snake as the tongue flicks out towards them.
Bravo! Bravo!
Okay. Well, as Zix mentioned, this is an inspire action for awe. I'll give you 2 points done.
Sweet.
So Zix will be rolling his inspire action. I'll let you do charisma and performance against the resolves of our friends. It's to be a roll that happens quite a lot. And I happen to remember from last time that the highest resolve here is 4.
In this case, my resolve will be nothing, because I think you were absolutely probably invoking my intimacy towards fashion, which in this case would lower my resolve.
That's a good point. When you make a social action in third edition against someone's resolve, their intimacies, things that they think about, things they care about in various degrees and in varying intensities, can modify your resolve, either bolster your resolve against it because the action would make you feel or act in a particular way counter to your interests, or it would lower your resolve because it happens to key off something that is totally within your interests. And being the fop that he is, Etzer is all for this display.
So just rolled. I used Masterful Performance and Phantom Conjuring Performance. And let's see. 2, 3, 5. That's 16 successes. Sorry, not 16. Just 13.
Just. Well, I think that pretty much blasts away any resolve that either of the two people have. Does anyone want to spend willpower to avoid getting this particular intimacy of awe towards Cheshire in particular?
It's a inspiration, so just whatever inspires them is what's being drawn up in their breast. I mean, they can take an intimacy towards it, but that's not what I'm inducing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was an instill.
No, I don't want to manipulate their hearts too much because he feels bad after the other night. So he just wants to make them feel things, not feel things towards him or other things.
So based on what he's just seen, Etzer is probably going to come running out of the captain's quarters and head down to the court of the Ivory Patella and pull aside Ermine Love, who is his personal tailor. And he's like, I've just seen the most exquisite thing. I have had an epiphany. We have very little time. We must make new clothing for all of us. I have been inspired.
Oh, do tell.
I imagine like a tunic, like a shield, yes? Like a shirt, but like cut off and bound together with chain, almost like serpents, especially like serpents. That's a big thing.
Whips out this pad of parchment and then just plucks out some charcoal and starts sketching up the designs as you were describing them to him.
So he would probably have several ornamental armor style designs, sort of like lots of shield-shaped van braces and guards and stuff like that. It would absolutely be worthless as armor. It's completely decorative. Probably a few designs based on local cultural heroes or anything that Goss has done of note that he could do reference through outfit, or maybe like reference through pattern.
He's... Sorry, what was this fellow's name again?
It's actually a she, and it's Ermine Love.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ermine. Ermine goes over the thoughts of the design, sort of flicks through some of the chests, starts pulling out these masses and masses of these costumes and clothes and fabrics and bits and pieces, and starts sort of elements from one particular costume, that an idea that you'd come to her with in the past. If she just modifies it in this way, this, that, and that, and the other, and it could certainly sort of become a serviceable base for the rest of this frippery design sort of thrown on top. And she starts sort of madly sort of throwing it together, sewing, sort of swirling it around you. It's not particularly quick. This does take quite some time, but her movements are flying. Energy seems to leap off her as she moves. When she gestures with her hand, it's not just a gesture. The energy seems to flow off and away from her. It flies from her sort of movements that she makes. There's lots of swirling and tightening and flicking and twisting. And within maybe 15 to 20 minutes of being tended to and tucked and pinned and not quite sewn into this attire, there's a serviceable facsimile of the design that he has thought up comes. Obviously, we'll need, once she has more time to fully devote to the craft, it would be much nicer, much fancier, much better, and Edsel can look down and see, this is far from her best work. It's very, very rough, almost Frankensteinian in its sort of patched together sort of motion. But as he sort of rises up out into back onto the deck and starts to sort of show off his idea and talk about this design and what he was looking at, Cheshire and Ash can just look upon it and it's one of the most well-made, put together articles of clothing that they have ever seen, short of Ash's own impeccable dress style and that of his crew.
Cheshire looks the design up and down, thoroughly impressed at the work. He looks the designer in the face and says, "Give me 1 second." In literally a second, Cheshire stands up straight. A ripple effect starts at the top of his head, and it flows downward to encompass his body, and then it tightens and forms into the exact replica of what he's seeing on the page. Using the committed evocation.
I told you, it's inspiration.
Out of character, I love every one of these moments.
True to the description, inspiration flows, and she narrowly avoids fainting from the shock and surprise, but puts her head back down into the pack of parchment and charcoal sketches that she's made, and hurriedly rushes back down onto deck to spend some real quality time with the fabrics and articles and bits and pieces to truly throw together a ensemble.
Cheshire just walks up to Etzer and says, I have a certain sense for how people feel. Are they okay? They seem to be a little frantic.
Oh, just, they're so overwhelmed by your superior work. They are fans of aesthetics above all else, and to you, you are a muse. I've seen more profound garments on you in the past 3 days than I have seen in the past 3 seasons. It's like it comes out like how water springs forth from a well. Fashion literally flows out of you.
I simply dream it, and it becomes real. At least in this regard.
If only all dreams were so easily made manifest.
Too bad things like this happen, and he just takes part of the design on his arm, pulls a strip off. Like it's supposed to be metal, but pulls it off like it's paper, and just tosses it to a side, and it dissolves into bubbles. That tends to happen.
there is a auroric ghost of the remains of the reaction engendered still present here on the boat, on the deck up here. To Etzer and Ash, it plays almost as if just a memory, just playing over in their heads, the vision just sort of evoking the any particular feeling or thought they had at the time that they saw her react in such a seemingly extreme fashion. But for Cheshire, it's more than that. It's the eddies and the echo. It's the scraps left on the plate while he's still hungry. It would take every ounce of strength he had left not to pick it up and lick the bowl clean, as it were. Mechanically, she has gained a minor intimacy, respect and admiration towards you, from which you can feed.
Cheshire's going to resist it this one time. And it's not because he doesn't